warm welcome to the Plymouth Pavilions for this BBL Championship clash between the Plymouth Raiders and the Durham Wildcats right here on Sky Sports. The Raiders have a chance to move above Surrey in the table by the end of tonight's show. Can they take that opportunity, or will Durham make up ground on the sides above them in the final playoff places? Those questions will be answered over the course of the next couple of hours. Let's take a check now on the league table as it stands going into tonight's game. Clear blue water at the top for the Riders and the Eagles, and now Plymouth have reeled in the heat and could overtake them in third. Worcester and Glasgow are separated by a couple of points, and they both look in good form right now, just outside the top four. Behind them, it's a right scrap for playoff places, with the Wildcats a little off the pace, 4 points behind, but they've got games in hand and will have a chance to catch that one up. Well, tonight I'm joined by a local legend, the former Plymouth Raider, Jamie Birchall. Jamie, great to have you with us again. Looking at your old team, a couple of changes to the roster. You saw Rod Brown's debut last weekend. How did he look? How did he fit into the team?
He fit in great. Obviously, the change of personnel with Jeremy Bell, two very different point guards. Rod came up with 14 assists, which was super impressive on his debut. Ran the team really well. Got through our sets, even though he had a lot to learn in his first week. But I believe he's going to be a superb addition for the Raiders.
Yeah, Rod, of course, with plenty of BBL experience, began his career here, played 5-6 seasons, bounced around 3 teams, quality player, but also another new face, Andreas Schreiber, joining the team, going to make his debut tonight. What have you seen about him?
Well, he's extremely athletic. He's got a lot of pedigree. He's played, in a tough Leb Gold league in Spain. Very strong around the basket, and I think he's definitely a piece that Coach Love wanted to add around the basket, able to finish, and maybe take some of the pressure, the scoring pressure in the paint off Matt Schneck. I mean, the two of them working together, I think, is going to be it's going to give teams a lot to think about down there.
Surrey had a tough weekend last weekend, so the Raiders have drawn level with them now. Chance to go above them psychologically. That would be a nice boost to get up to third. Yeah,
I think cliche, but we're taking every game at a time. But I think Coach Love is really excited with this unit, with what Rod offers from a leadership point of view, and the setup of the team. Rod's going to be able to get these guys the ball, and we've got guys on all spots who can score the ball, inside, outside. And with the new additions, it's exciting, and I think if we can gel as a team, I think the rest of the league campaign and the playoffs are a really kind of realistic aim for us.
The other end of the floor, we've got the Durham Wildcats. Struggled a little bit early on, but have started to find their form over the last 5 or 6 weeks. Here's a team vying for a playoff place. They'll be hungry. They'll be desperate coming in here.
Yeah, I mean, by the looks of it, they've only got kind of a short rotation tonight. But they're a team that are going to get through their sets. They're going to slow the game down. They're going to take good shots. And they're going to be very disciplined and well coached. So, and obviously with a guy like Ralph Bucci, who's been having a great kind of couple of months. They're a team that will be a potential banana skin.
Certainly promises to be an interesting game. Earlier, I caught up with both coaches to gauge their opinions. Well, Gavin, since the last time we saw you, a couple of changes to the roster, a few new faces. What can you tell us about those players?
Well, we've added Rod Brown to the roster. He had his debut last week. He did a fantastic job. A pure point guard and a leader. And also Andreas Schreiber is coming this week. He's only had 2 practices with us, but if the opportunity arises, he'll get some burn today. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
And Rod Brown, a name familiar to BBL fans. He obviously cut his teeth in this league. Experience and a real point guard.
I think so. He's really beginning to get all the players involved, and the guys love that. I mean, last week, Javaris Barnett had one of his best games, just getting a lot of the opportunities through Rod's penetrating and kick. And he is the leader. He's teaching the guys as he goes. So, yeah, it makes my job a lot easier.
And how do you think that's changed the style of play, or has it not at all?
Oh, it absolutely has. We're sharing the ball a lot more. The ball movement is great. We're executing our sets a little better than we were previously. So all in all, I'm really happy, and the passion is there.
And Durham tonight, you obviously had a great game against them earlier in the season. Is the key to try and get out and push the tempo?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, a fast tempo will certainly suit us, but they've had some great results recently and come close to beating some really big teams, so we certainly won't be taking them lightly. I don't think the last game we had has any influence on this game whatsoever. So, you know, they've got a lot of good players, reigning BBL player at the moment with Ralph Bucci, so it's going to be a great game, I think. And
a chance for you guys to move up the table. You've caught up with Surrey. You can go past them this weekend.
We can, but you know, we have to focus one game at a time, and the ethos is just to play good basketball, you know, entertain the crowd and hopefully get a win. So we're not getting overexcited about anything at the moment.
Well, Dave, from the outside looking in, looked like you had a difficult November, but the last 5 or 6 weeks things seem to have picked up for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, performances have improved. We've had a difficult period to negotiate with injuries and illness. We're left with 7 fit guys for tonight, but we have made some real progress, and we hope to continue it tonight.
And the form of Ralph Bucci has been particularly impressive.
Oh yeah, I mean, Ralph's a veteran, and he's playing like he's showing a lot of leadership, individual qualities really good, and he's inspiring the rest of the players to try and, you know, reach his level, which is fantastic for the team.
And this a tough place to come. You'll have to be at your best.
It is. I mean, we've only been here once before. We gave a good account of ourselves last year towards the end of the season, so we very much would like to do so tonight.
And what are the keys for you against this Plymouth team?
Well, I know they've changed personnel in terms of Jeremy Bell and Rod Brown. I don't see any change at all in strategy to what they used up in Newton Aycliffe. I mean, they hit us hard on the break when we came to grips with that. They shot really well, and we're expecting very much the same tonight. Transition defence has got to be tough, and we've got to close down on shooters.
And in some ways, if you can put points on the board, that will slow their transition down?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the areas where we've improved in terms of our average score is creeping up. We hit the ton for the first time when we played Cheshire. We hit 91 against Worcester, which was a tough game for us. So we've competed well against Surrey, we've competed well against Worcester, and this is another challenge tonight that we're looking forward to.
Now the time to try and turn those good performances on the road into away victories.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're like every team. We aspire to reach the playoffs. All the teams around us are having mixed results like we are, and we can't just rely on beating the people in our own area. We're going to try and knock off some top teams as well.
Well, let's get into the lineups for tonight's game. And in the Plymouth Raiders side, the obvious change comes at the guard position with Jeremy Bell out and Rod Brown in. Of course, Rod Brown 6 seasons in the BBL. They've also added Schreiber to the lineup. Mike Ojo's been out with a fractured eye socket. He is back in the squad today, and that's a big addition for them, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like bringing in a whole new player with Mike Ojo. This is a guy who has been leading us in scoring, you know, all season, with a scorer like Jeremy Bell in the lineup, which shows, you know, what a fantastic season he's had scoring the ball.
And if we move over to the other side, Durham Wildcats, they had that tough time early in the season, but they've picked up around the turn of the year. Ralph Bucci, Player of the Month in December, and they claimed a vital win over the Phoenix earlier this month. If they are going to challenge for playoff places, they need to improve on their travels. They've not won on the road since the opening game of the season. Very patient team. They move the ball a lot. That will be tested. Injury and illness has meant they're a little short-handed here today, but they will look to move the ball around.
Yeah, absolutely, and a guy that you know, I can't praise highly enough is Ralph Bucci. A lot of the maybe say the older generations of Raiders fans will know kind of the battles that we used to have back here in Division 1 when he was playing for Teesside.
Here we go then. The jump ball will go up, and it's stolen away by Colin O'Reilly. Jumped right in front there and turned what looked like a Wildcats win of the jump ball into 2 points for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's a horrible start for a coach from that kind of play. A little fortunate for the Raiders, but a good start nonetheless.
Here's Bucci dumping it inside. It's back out now to Page. Keister with the jump shot rattles in. Good stop.
Big man showing a nice little
yeah,
score.
He's deceptive because he is a big fellow. He's got some post moves, but he can knock down the jump shot. Here's Rod Brown in the action. Good pass, and that is what we expect from Rod Brown. Good court vision, find the big man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that all evening tonight. The Plymouth bigs going to work.
Baldarelli attacking the basket. Keister making a nuisance of himself, pulling in the offensive rebound. And again, straight to the basket goes Baldarelli. Tip from Kaiser doesn't go. Should have got a couple of points out of that.
Yeah, Raiders slow to rotate across there, getting lucky. Good inside pass.
Yeah, Barnett inside, and O'Reilly find him. Wildcats have got to pick up their men as they come back on defense.
Yeah, I mean, one of the strong things that Raiders can do is probably 1 through 4, they've got guys that can put the ball on the floor.
Here's Page cutting to the hole. Didn't quite have enough. They've managed to get to the basket early on, Wildcats, just not finished it off. And they've certainly not got back in transition defense.
No, again, Rod Brown pushing the ball. Again, Raiders have got guys that are going to be able to run all night long.
Well, we saw this game earlier in the season up in Newton Aycliffe, and the Raiders just ran right past the Wildcats on that occasion, and it's continued on here. Off the glass, I'm not sure the bank was called on that occasion by Granani, but it all counts. Here's Brown, little stop and go from Rod Brown. Tried to be tipped in by Schneck. He's hard to the ground. He's all right though. He's back up. Bucci running the other way. Granani with the pull-up 3. That's a little bit long. And I've seen the Wildcats a few times this season. This is probably as quick as I've seen them look to play at the offensive end, attacking the basket. They've normally been quite patient when I've seen them moving the ball around, but clearly they've kicked up the tempo. Look at that move from Bucci. It was a travel though. It was a nice original spin, but as he came through, just shuffled his feet.
Yeah. I mean, I think, to be honest, the frenetic pace of the game started off so far, I think, with a 7-man rotation. I'm not sure how long Durham will be able to keep up with that, but it's definitely will suit Plymouth with their 9-deep bench.
Here's Brown round the high screen, throws it inside to Schneck, backing down, Matt Schneck. Oh, just a little unlucky as that one bobbles out. Bucci wants the high screen, goes round it. Now Kaiser down in the low post, trying to return the favor. Good strong move for no points though. Lasker just had the ball bobble away from him for a second, but recovered. Schneck. Good read by Bucci to steal that ball away. He's off and running, sees the man ahead, and an easy lay-in for Granani out on the break.
Good hands by Ralph Bucci there. I think he's second in the league in that particular category in steals.
There's
and
another
again,
steal.
showing another one.
I think that time the hands were in from Baldarelli, but it's he at the other end who hits a 3, and they started a little bit slowly, the Wildcats, but suddenly on the back of that shot, they're in the lead, 9-8.
Yeah, they're being very patient. They're finding the open man, you know, on the break and getting into the post when they want to as well.
Offensive foul called on Barnett with the little moving screen, just shuffled across a little bit, chased it a bit, and there's always the cardinal sin of the guy setting the screen going after the defender.
Yeah, I think a pretty obvious one there from Jabari, so I don't think he can have too many complaints.
Page. Back to Page, backside, just had his toe on the line there. That one would have only been worth 2, but it didn't go in. Brown certainly lost none of his pace as he gets to the veteran end of his career. He certainly looks to push out on the break.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be tough to stop. On the break, he can go up and obviously get fouled as well.
He's definitely showed his speed there out on the break. Rod Brown.
And last week's game against Manchester, he struggled a little bit from in the field. I think he shot 4 of 16. Obviously had the 14 assists, but he played 47 minutes in the game, and his legs, I think, were a little bit gone. But obviously, he's had another week or so in practice, and I'm sure he'll get over that.
34 years of age now, Rod Brown. First came to the BBL from Western Michigan University back in 1999. There was a slew of players around that time came from that MAC conference. Nate Reinking played against him at Kent State. They had, there was quite a few guys. Leicester had a few. all around the same time. Brown back in the BBL, played for the Leopards, the Towers, the Lions. Fired up for three is short, and easy rebound for Barnett. O'Reilly sets his feet, dives underneath the attempted block. I don't think he actually wanted to shoot that, but the defenders moved away from him. He had no other option.
Yeah, I think Colin will be a little bit annoyed he didn't take that first shot, and when he did, I think it kind of opened up for him a little bit more than he expected.
Midway through the opening period, 1 point between the two teams, and not anymore. It's 2 points between the two teams as that three is knocked down by Brad Ghanani. Lasker up in the air, gets it to Schneck. O'Reilly again drives to the basket.
Much stronger move this time from Colin.
He went that time with the purpose of shooting, and that time he finished it off. Tied at 12. Kaiser, long way from home, gets it on to Granani from way behind the arc for three, showing his touch from deep.
I think that's where Durham can definitely hurt the Raiders. I think Plymouth are going to be expecting them to, run an offense that lasts, 21, 22, 23 seconds. That time, first shot was kind of open, but he made a tough shot nevertheless.
You can see in that timeout that Coach Love, very animated, trying to get his team fired up into this game. They trail by a point, mainly off the back of some excellent shooting from Brad Granani with his 10 points in the game. He's 2 3-pointers. He's only missed one shot in the contest so far, and he's really been the driving force.
Yeah, I mean, by the looks of it from that timeout, Coach Love not happy at all the way Raiders started this game. Just seeing, in the timeout there, it looks like that he's going to give this unit another minute before making some wholesale changes.
Kaiser looking for some options, finds Bucci. Bucci driving into the free throw line, bounces it down to Baldarelli, backing down Barnett, taking it strong, and you would think that Barnett's got some height on him there, but he didn't back down. Rob Brown attacks. Here's Barnett at the other end, loses the handle. Another turnover by the Raiders, and out on the break come the Wildcats. Johnson on the trail, collision. I think he might have been inside the charge zone, which is why it wasn't called the little semicircle, but Rod Brown converts at the other end.
Yeah, Drew Lasker sacrificing his body there. Obviously, that was a no call. Put the shooter off a little bit. Raiders able to capitalize on the break.
Probably just had his feet inside that no charge off, which is why, other than that, it did look like it could have been an offensive foul. Bucci to Johnson. Get out to Granani, still let that one go, but he had to shoot there with the shot clock expiring. Lasker kicks out to Barnett, and Rod Brown says, let's get into a set play.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that Rod Brown's going to bring to the table. He understands that Raiders haven't had the best few offenses, so he says, let's bring it out, let's get the best possible shot we can, and there it is.
There it is, worth 3 points from Lasker, and as you say, that's what Rod Brown brings to the team. The smarts to bring it out, call a play, and then the pass into, and here's a steal from Lasker, and there's a quick foul. But it's amazing how, a nice shot at one end, and suddenly Lasker's in the basket lane with the steal at the other end.
Yeah. And in his plays like Drew Lasker, even though, the charge wasn't called, it's plays like that they're seeing, one of your starters taking charge or sacrificing their body. Everybody else is going to want to do it. Everyone else is going to want to play as tough defense as possible.
Well, Mike Ojo back into the game. He's been out for a while with that fractured eye socket. Good block from Bucci, isn't there? A foul is called. Bucci's none too pleased with it. It is on him, but great to see Mike Ojo back out there. As you said earlier, he's their leading scorer so far this season, and it's one of those sort of injuries that I'm sure he'll be a little bit tentative when he comes back in. Don't think he'll be putting his body in the way just as Lasker did right now.
No, I mean, my coach has had a fantastic year. I mean, I've mentioned before on other games, on other commentary, that I can't remember a guy having such a good second year and improving over that summer from his rookie year last year. And he's turned into the go-to guy for us. And Raiders done very, very well to win as many games without him as they have over the Christmas and New Year period.
There's Granani, almost had his pocket picked by Lasker. Cuts it, got Kaisad to go up high, sends it back to Bucci. Bucci with a nice bounce.
Patience.
Again, just kept looking for the extra man, Johnson on the end of it.
Ralph Bucci, third in total assists, and other than steals, he can also get his teammates involved as well.
Schneck to the hole. He's had a couple of them that have just rimmed out here in the early stages.
Yeah, there's a few gimmies I think Matt would have liked to have knocked down. The one thing about Matthew Schneck is if he struggles around the basket for the first part of the game, pretty much every time, for the rest of the game, he really picks it up.
Bucci with a nice shot, but look at Brown again racing down court. That's deflected away and will be a Raiders ball. Thought for a second the referee was pointing the other way, but I think he just lost his footing and stumbled over, and that was what it was. He did correct himself once he'd regained his feet. Good hands again from Johnson to knock it loose, and that's been a bit of a problem for the Raiders. Oh, pull-up three from Page, all string, way behind the arc. Page just came down and said, defense ain't coming out to me, I'm going to shoot it.
That was a huge step behind the arc, and again, not what you would expect from the Durham Wildcats, but as you said earlier, they scored 100 points for the first time. Keith Page there showing exactly how they did that.
They're on pace for that sort of number again here. 23-24, and two offenses left here in this first quarter.
Good to see Mike Ojo his first shot there. That'll do the confidence the world of good, after such a long layout.
Page is fouled on the floor by Rod Brown. And it will be a Wildcats ball from the side. .8 seconds left. In the old rules, they would have been able to run this down, but the shot clock only resets to 14, so the Raiders should get one back. Bucci. Nice bounce pass, good ball movement again. Oh, pin! Patience. But Johnson finished it off. What a block from Schneck, but Johnson stayed with it. Raiders with the chance to tick down the last couple of seconds here.
Not going to get it off.
Thrown down O'Reilly. Don't think he got that off in time. No, said the referee. Wave it off, and that'll do it for the first quarter. But how about them Durham Wildcats really came out? Well, the first minute or two, it was all Raiders. They couldn't get back on defense, but then suddenly they were attacking the basket, making jump shots, playing really well.
Well, for a team that supposedly slows the ball down and, uses 22, 23 seconds on the shot clock, they've scored 26 points in a quarter. Coach Love definitely not going to be happy about that. Dave Elderkin definitely going to be the happier of the two coaches.
Certainly have. Great first quarter here at the Pavilions. We'll be back with second quarter action after this break. Welcome back to the Plymouth Pavilions, where it's the Durham Wildcats who lead the way here. Some excellent three-point shooting. 4 of 7 made in the first quarter from the Wildcats, but their overall play, the way they've attacked the basket, they've rebounded well. Johnson's come in, made a little bit of an impact, cutting to the hole and getting himself some points on the board.
Ralph Bucci, got to give him some credit. He's definitely running the show for the Wildcats, stealing the ball on one end of the floor several times, and just a really heady player from the high post or the low post. Just find him cut his baseline. They're making the extra pass inside as well. It's happened a few times where they've got looks inside.
Yeah, Bucci with 3 steals in the game already. Another 3 goes up, another 3 goes in. A 5th triple of the game for the Durham Wildcats. Shooting the ball tremendously well from behind the arc. That's broken up by Johnson. Williams' shot doesn't go. Rebound, Bucci. He's got 3 steals, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. He's doing a bit of everything in the early stages. Granani in the corner, another one!
3.
Wow, great shooting display from the Durham Wildcats here. That is their 6th three-pointer in only 9 attempts.
Coach Love not going to be very happy at all. Guys just not finding a man, you know, especially like a team like Durham who can just straight shoot the ball.
Well, the scout report, you can rip that one up, because I'm sure Coach Love would have said, well, look, they're a patient team, they move the ball, they look for shots. Maybe not the greatest three-point shooting team in the league. They're shooting below 30% from the three-point line so far this season. None of it today. They're on fire from behind the arc. The Wildcats are shooting 60% from behind the line. Oh, open inside, Granani again. We have seen some of the patient ball movement. Gavin Love calling a timeout. We have seen some of the patient ball movement, and actually what they've ended up with is easy lay-ins. You think back late in the first quarter, Johnson had a couple cutting to the basket. He had the one where Schneck blocked him and he put it back. Another open layup on the inside there. They are finding gaps in this Plymouth defense.
They are finding gaps and they're moving the ball well, but to be honest, I don't think the Plymouth defense is making it too hard for them at the moment. People are slow to rotate, missing assignments, and you know, it doesn't look like the Plymouth team that you know, that played so well last week against Manchester here at the Pavilions.
Well, Gavin Love forced into a timeout here. His team 8-0 down in this quarter, 11 points down overall, just a minute into this second period. The Wildcats, well, they look very happy with life. It's noticeable out of that timeout. Dave Elderkin didn't need the full minute. He said what he needed to say, which was probably, keep it going, lads, we're playing well.
Don't change a thing, do what you're doing.
And wow, who would have picked this at the beginning of the game? 11 minutes in, and it's the visitors up by 11. The Wildcats, who haven't won on the road since the opening day of the season. They beat Worcester in their first game of the season in Worcester and not won an away game since. Brown, good bounce pass to Schneck, and that's where you get that pick and roll. Rod Brown is just an expert.
And you know, with the unit we've got out there, Ojo and O'Reilly on the wing are deadly three-point shooters. So you know, you can't compact, you know, that kind of defense in. Another 3 goes up, unbelievable.
They're just flying in left, right, and center. That is the 5th of the game for Brad Granani. He's got 21 points here. Ojo trying to reply. Here he is.
21 points.
It's almost like just give him the ball, let him shoot it.
Wow. In 12 minutes of play, that's exceptional shooting display so far in this game.
5 of 7 from behind the arc, 8 of 10 overall. Just lightening it up from three-point line. Here's Bucci. Bucci steps back, shot clock getting low. Bucci has to fire up a 3, doesn't hit the ring. That will be a shot clock violation. Goes out of bounds anyway. But actually, on that occasion, we saw some of the patience, but not the ball movement that we're accustomed to with the Wildcats.
Yeah, I think they went a little bit away from what they're good at there, the kind of, you know, the one-on-one play. I think if they start relying too much on that, I think you know, the league could be gone in a hurry. If they keep doing what they're doing, you know, they're going to cause a big headache for Plymouth.
Well, the Raiders have got 25. Brad Granani has 21, and the rest of his team have 16. Here's Page out on the break. Baldarelli spotting up from behind the arc. That one is short. Page with the rebound off the glass for 2, and the lead is back out to 14. Brown again on the pick and roll. This time they double teamed him, forced him back to the halfway line. Nice pass to Ojo for 2.
I think that's where Plymouth are going to get back in this game, with Rod Brown creating, you know, guys making the right cuts, but down the other end, transition defense, you know, too slow for Plymouth, and that, you know, that's what happens when you're too slow to rotate and get back. Team score or get to the line, like in this case.
That was the 5th assist of the game so far for Rod Brown. He's not been in the league long enough to be in the assist charts, but it will only be a matter of games played before you see him amongst the leaders in the assist column in the BBL.
I mean, the Raiders have, currently leading the league in offense and in points. They are a high-octane scoring team, and to be honest, if Rod Brown continues, the way like he's played in the first 1.5 games that he's played, I can see him being, right up at the top of the tree in that category.
Andreas Schreiber into the game for the first time, the big number 7, making his debut for the Raiders here in the BBL. Ojo, there's a bit of a collision at the top. Ojo fires up the shot, doesn't quite go. Baldarelli is first to it.
Raiders offense stuttering a little bit. Raiders can't seem to find much fluidity to the game now.
Johnson looking to go to work, drives in hard, great block from Schreiber. Schneck trying to keep it alive, does keep it alive to Brown. Schreiber out on the break, great pass from Brown. It was almost picked off. I think he was thinking about, here's my first points of the game, and didn't see the defender come in.
And a dunk at that. If he'd have caught it cleanly, I think he might have been thinking about that.
Brown to inbound. Ojo running around the screen, fires up, and that's just an excellent executed out-of-bounds play. Ran around a couple of screens, got himself open, knocked the shot down. Here's Page. Got to defend him all the way out there. He hit the one from there. Good dish into Kaiser.
Good rotation.
Ojo to Brown. And here he is getting, no, not quite. I was about to say, here he is getting his first points of the game, but a little bit overcooked on that lay-in. Dave Elderkin going to call a timeout here. His team leading by 11 at the Pavilions. 5:48 to go here in the first half. I think Dave will be relatively happy. Well, he's be delighted with where his team sits right now, but last couple of minutes, perhaps not quite been at the level they had been at the start of this quarter, so a sensible timeout, just try and draw up maybe a play or two, get them back into the swing of things.
I think so. I think that's a good timeout. I think he could probably sense that the Plymouth's defense maybe picked up just a little bit. The rotations on the last couple of defensive plays have been on point, with Mike Ojo rotating down on the weak side, getting the steal, and obviously Rod Brown coming up with a couple of passes, and Raiders getting a couple of good looks inside.
But as Gavin Love comes out of that timeout, I'm sure the thing that will worry him the most, frustrate him the most, I guess, is the 40 points on the board that his team have given up in just over 14 minutes. Now, sometimes there's not a lot you can do when a guy goes 5 for 7 from the three-point line and puts 21 points on the board, as Brad Granani has done here in this game. But 40 is a big number for this stage of the contest.
It is, and I think he'll be challenging guys. I think he'll be challenging individuals to make a stand and and try and lock that guy down.
Well, here he is, it's Bonnet who's guarding him at the moment. Oh, just through the hands of Keister. He spun round, lost his man for a second, but lost the ball as well. Lasker playing point guard, with Brown getting a breather. Ojo back to Lasker, and again to him. Schreiber backing down, nice spin move, blocked though by Johnson, and it'll be a Raiders ball from the end, with shot clock holding at 6. Reynolds into the game for the first time. Ojo penetrates, gets it out. Lasker's out of bounds. Happens all the time. It's all on the spacing of the three-point line. I'm convinced of it. I have no way of statting how many times guys step out of bounds. But in the last couple of years, since the three-point line went out, it's a lot more than it used to be, I'm sure of that. It's
definitely a frustrating one for Coach Love. He worked the ball well to get a good open shot, and only for it to be an unforced error.
Foul called on Drew Lasker. It's his first in the game. 15 minutes in, there's only been 8 fouls in the entire game. Nobody got more than 1. It's not really been a game. There's been more open shots than anything else. As Page drives to the basket, tosses it up, couldn't quite get it to go, and Raiders will push it the other way with Lasker. Barnett bounces it down to Schneck. Schneck to the turnaround.
Nice
just
move.
had enough on that.
Well, I think one thing the Raiders have got to do is snag rebounds and get off to the races, because you know, with a 7-man rotation, I'm not sure how Durham will be able to fare if they really push the ball. I mean, at the moment they seem to be coping with it fine. Good defense by Schreiber.
Well, Schreiber read that play basically. He saw it happen. Was it 2 plays ago, 3 plays ago? Knew that pass was going into the low block, so he just gambled on it and came up with the steal.
Coach Love has mentioned to me how impressed he is with Schreiber's defense. Obviously, he's shown a block shot, but coming up with good awareness for the steal there.
Ojo to inbound for the Raiders, trailing now by 9. As we tick down towards half-time, just over 4 minutes to go in the first half. Schneck trying to find some space, and the foul called. I don't know if it was Page down, reaching down. No, it was Johnson coming on the help. Reynolds certainly was the original defender, did a decent job on Schneck. It was the help from where the foul came. Timeout called by Gavin Love here. 3 timeouts already in the first half. Raiders still trailing by 9, but a lot of the time I look at this game, it's about the momentum, the tempo, the way the flow of the game is. I know they're down 9, but I feel Plymouth have come back into this game. They're more comfortable over the last few minutes in how they're playing. I'm sure he'll be reiterating that to his team.
Yeah, I think nobody will be panicking. You know, as I said earlier, the Raiders are leading the league in points per game. They can put points on the board in a hurry. And I think Coach Lovell would just be saying, we're fine. You know, just be patient. Let's get through the sets. Let's execute. And, you know, maybe there's no reason why he'll think that the Raiders can't still, you know, go up in this half up, or at least down by maybe 1, 2, or 3.
Well, that will be the aim, you would imagine, for the next 4 minutes. Let's try and eat into some of this lead and see if we can't get ourselves back level. Certainly plenty of time for it. And the home fans cranking up the noise, trying to get behind their team. Now it quietens down to allow Matt Schneck to shoot from the free throw line.
Matthew Schneck's free throws are looking a lot better at this point in the season. At the start, he was hesitating a little bit at the height of his release. Now it's a lot smoother shot.
Not sure he was entirely convinced on that. He looked like he was going to go chase after that one as if it was going to be short.
I think that's an instinct thing from a guy who's leading in the BBL in rebounds.
Ojo with a good steal. Drops it back to Lasker. Barnett at the top of the key, fires up from behind the arc, bit short. Heister first to it. Bucci pushing it down for the Wildcats. Reynolds trying to get it to Page. It's stolen away by Barnett. Barnett running back. He's caught. Won't quite go. Javaris Barnett slaps his hands in frustration. He felt he should be going to the line for 1 free throw here.
Yeah, I mean, one thing Javaris Barnett can really do is put the ball on the floor, and he's got a real knack. I think he should have probably gone with his left hand. I'm not sure if he went with his right or left, but his left hand finish is really strong, and he can often make it in traffic. You know, got a really nice touch there when he's at full speed.
Makes the first from the line and the second as well, and off the back of a few free throws here, the lead down to 5, and Guanani, who'd been sat on the bench for a couple of minutes getting a well-earned breather, is sent back out there now.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, he's obviously slowed down a little bit at the second part of this quarter, but I can't remember a guy having 21 points in the first 12 minutes of the game, especially in the last few seasons.
Well, being a Plymouth man, as Baldarelli drives to the basket, you will have mentally blocked out last year's cup final. I won't say Charles Smith to you. Page to Baldarelli. Baldarelli off the glass for two.
No, I absolutely have blocked it out. Yeah.
They needed that, Durham. The lead had cut down to 5. They needed that score.
Of course, Newcastle in the cup first leg here.
Darius Defoe, didn't he have a monster double-double or something like
He
that?
did, but I said Newcastle as a team shot unbelievably well that night. The best I've probably seen in this building from an entire team, but from an individual. Yeah, Charles Smith in the cup final, but in this building, Gunani has obviously come out on fire.
Baldarelli driving to the hole with a little floater. That one just outside the charge zone, so it is called a charge.
Was that Drew Lasker that took that again after not being called for the first one? And I'm super impressed he took that charge, especially as he played 50 minutes last Saturday night.
50 minutes, long old time.
Double overtime game, and he played the whole thing.
Yeah, you kind of forget. I mean, it's a nice move by Ojo. But 50 minutes is a lot of work for anybody.
Especially as a guy as explosive as Drew Lasker on both ends of the floor.
They've been trying to get it down to Keister. That's why. They've been trying to get it down, feed it down to him. They've had difficulty getting that pass down to the big man there, but when they've done it there, he's shown why.
Yeah, he looks like he's got some good footwork. He's, he showed that he can go over his left and his right shoulder there.
Well, he'll go to the three-point line, trying to convert to the free throw line, even trying to convert the three-point play. He is their second leading scorer this season, but they tend to spread it about. It doesn't always necessarily come from one superstar guy. You see some guys on a team that, like a Jeremy Bell, if you like, he's going to get 20 every given night. Durham, it's hard to know who their guy is going to be. They seem to rotate it through, which is a good thing as long as you get consistency.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph Bucci obviously is not scoring, as he was when he was last in the country, but he's just doing a lot of other things as well. All the intangibles, the things that do appear on the stat sheet, but also a lot of the things that don't.
There he is grabbing a rebound. It's his 5th rebound of the game. He's got 5 assists, 3 steals on his stats line already. He trips over his own teammate there. Bucci turns the corner, gets it out to Granani. Shot clock getting low. Bucci's got to shoot it, does shoot it from behind the arc, and that one's wayward. And that's a missed the ring. Johnson didn't realize he had to fire it up, and it was a 24-second violation. Probably could have got it off if he'd recognized the situation.
Yeah, noticeably good defense there by Raiders. They've definitely picked it up a notch. Pretty sure they've been listening to Coach Love's words. And with a 9-man rotation now, guys are definitely going to be looking at their playing time. They're going to be seeing that there's 9 guys on the court that are going to be wanting to play and all deserving. Nice give and go.
Lovely pass from Barnett to O'Reilly. Yeah, that's one of the headaches of having a deep bench, is how you keep everybody happy with the minutes they play. In some ways, it's easy to just have 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, at the start of the year, Raiders had 7. Currently, I think the core rotation's up there at 9.
Johnson's shot doesn't go. He turns to the referee to claim he got caught. Referee having none of it. Brown, little stop and go floater, not quite enough on it. Ball bobbling about. Eventually, the Wildcats come down with it, and the shot clock switched off. So the Wildcats can tick this down. They will take a much-deserved lead into the first half. Bucci going quick there because he thought the Raiders will be not expecting it.
And
but of course
they're in the penalty.
The drawback of that now is he shoots 2 free throws and the Raiders get to come down and have the last offense. Ojo just arguing his case, but it was just Bucci caught them off guard, because normally you look in that situation, guy let it get down to 7, 8 seconds before he starts to go, and he just went a bit early. Recognized the defense wasn't ready for it and earned himself 2 points.
Wondering if Raiders going to be clearing the floor for Rod Brown here and letting him penetrate and kick to find an open man.
Brown goes, gets it, it's almost as you called it, to an open man. Still a little early because the Wildcats can run this back. Johnson out on the break, gets it, oh, super fast break from the Wildcats, and they managed to get 4 points in the last 15 seconds of this first half to open up a 10-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, poor time management there by Plymouth. You know, whatever happens there, Plymouth had to take that last shot. You know, let it go down 1 second, then get the shot. But to shoot the ball a few seconds early and allow Durham to get a wide open layup at the other end on the buzzer, Coach Love, that's not the way he would want to go into the halftime break.
Well, Brad Gurnani came out on fire. 5 3-pointers in the first half, 21 points to his name. That gave the Wildcats the platform, and they've sustained it through to halftime. We're at the break. It's 39-49 to the Wildcats. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Plymouth. Coach Love and his Raiders find themselves in a 10-point hole. I mean, you've been in that locker room with Gavin on many an occasion. Would he have read the riot act to them after that first half, do you think?
I think so. I think he would have told people what they can be doing better, what they're not doing so well. But at the same time, I think he'll know, or he'll tell the guys not to panic. You know, we can put points on the board in a hurry, but it starts with defense. And I think Durham have found it a little bit too easy getting what they want. So I see it starting on defense, and I see Raiders coming out and trying to obviously put more points on the board.
Well, they will get the first opportunity to do just that, and they will succeed in it. Javaris Barnett takes it to the hole for a couple.
That's the left-hand finish that I was talking about earlier. It'll be interesting to see how Plymouth respond defensively now.
Here's Page, penetrates, kicks out to Bucci. Gurnani, who had 21 early, and he's still firing them in. That's his 6th 3-pointer of the game. Well, he didn't cool off any in halftime, did he?
No, not at all. I think Drew Lasker got a good hand up there, but maybe not good enough.
Lasker to the hole, can't convert, hit the bottom of the ring, and that came off somebody's shin last. Referee adjudged it to be off a Durham player, so it'll be a Plymouth ball. Lasker to inbound, gets it to O'Reilly. Barnett drives through, gets it to Schneck. Schneck off the glass for a 2.
I think for Plymouth to get back in the game, they've got to get busy inside. They've got to start forcing their will, a little bit more aggressive. Durham actually out-rebounded them in the first half, which was pretty surprising.
Bucci onto Kaistes, Page at the top, shot clock getting low. Page tosses it up right at the end of the shot clock. Nice attack of the basket from Keith Page.
I think one of the things about being able to drive to the basket is in the back of the minds of the Raiders players will be the 3-point threat. So maybe, not necessarily helping that much, hugging their man a little bit. Obviously that, allows guys like Keith Page to penetrate and get all the way to the basket. But Plymouth have got to trust each other, and again,
Stolen
Ralph Bucci
away
showing
by
there.
Bucci, his 4th steal of the game, and that will be his 6th assist of the game from Bucci. He's got 4 points, but 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. He's doing it across the line.
And these kind of older Raiders fans will be having flashbacks of the late 90s and the amount of championships that the Raiders kind of lost out to for Teesside, and it pretty much was for that guy right there.
Yeah, Ralph Bucci, formerly of the Teesside Mohawks of EBL Division 1, when Raiders and Teesside were the top 2 teams in the second tier of British basketball. 24-second violation called against the Raiders, didn't get a shot off.
I mean, the BBL is an athletic league. You know, Ralph Bucci is showing that, you know, you don't have to be lightning fast. You don't have to, you know, be able to jump out the gym. You know, he's just playing a really old-fashioned style of basketball and doing it all at the moment.
Kaiser did a good job on the offensive glass, as his team have in this game. Couldn't convert the shot there. Perhaps should have recycled that one out. And Page is, I think, going to get called for a reach. That's the 3rd foul on Keith Page. He's the first man to get to that mark. And I think he's going to go have himself a break. Coach Elderkin pulls him out, sends Sam Johnson back into the game for him. And once again, the Raiders fans trying to get behind their team, trying to kick them into life. They were not coming here expecting to be 13 points down.
No, I mean, the Raiders fans are great fans, and it does get loud in here. But to be honest, the Raiders have got to give them something to cheer about and get them into the game. You know, at the moment, we're doing, you know, maybe one or two good things, but then, you know, the next time down the floor, you know, people are missing assignments and, you know, and giving the Wildcats maybe a little bit too much space to get a shot off.
There's Bucci around the screen, turns the corner. Oh, Schneck turned his back on him. On that, it was almost like they double-teamed away from the ball, and Bucci made him pay. Bucci wanted a shot for that. The referee said no. Schneck arguing the case that Bucci initiated the contact, but Schneck in no defensive position, and that one's always called defensive. Baldarelli trying to force it again. They've tried to get that there, and perhaps maybe Baldarelli needs to come down, give himself a bit more of an angle for that inlet pass, because they've struggled to get that down into Kaiser in the low post.
Yeah, I think what was noticeable as well, especially with that possession, I was looking at all 5 Plymouth players, and I think it was only Drew Lasker that was actually talking. I think the communication's got to be a lot better. People have got to trust each other, but they've got to talk. They've got to be vocal out there.
Bucci hands over to Kaiser at the top. Johnson down to Bucci again. Bucci's double team. Shot clock getting low now. Bucci trying to bounce it down. Baldarelli has a look, has to fire up. Hits the ring, so that'll be
another
reset.
Offensive rebound.
Baldarelli attacks the hole, looking for a foul, nothing doing. I think he might have initiated the contact, and because it was inside the semicircle, it's no offensive foul. O'Reilly gets bumped by Johnson, but you talk about the offensive rebounds. I think that's number 7 for the Durham Wildcats on the offensive glass, and that's about 1/3 of the rebounds on offer. That's a fairly high number where you get a chance for second points.
As you know, I mean, rebound is about who wants it more, and at that end of the floor, Durham definitely look like they're out hustling Raiders at the moment.
Brown fires up from behind the arc off the back of the ring. Baldarelli just about time. That long outlet pass is picked off by Colin O'Reilly. Lasker. Brown. Brown penetrates, knocked loose, and it came off Rod Brown last. Little reach in from Bernani, just knocked it back onto the leg of Rod Brown, and out of bounds off the Plymouth man. Timeout called. We're just short of the halfway point of this 3rd quarter, and still Wildcats looking comfortable with a double-digit lead.
I think that timeout's more about conserving energy and giving guys a breather, giving them a blow. At the moment, Durham, they look comfortable. They, on again what they want on offense, and defensively they're doing a great job.
Well, you look at the league table, and it's hard to believe that coming into this game, the Durham Wildcats, second bottom in the table, 5 wins from their 18 contests so far, not one away from home since the opening day of the season, but they've looked really good here tonight.
They have. They've looked very disciplined. Obviously, it helps when one of your guys can't miss from deep. But to be honest, you know, everybody on the Durham team looks like they know their role. And you know, and the way they're playing at the moment, they're just playing nicely as a team. Raiders just look like they're stuttering at both ends of the floor. Whether it's, you know, obviously with Mike Ojo not being a new player, but with him coming in after a month, and you know, trying to get the other two guys involved, you know, maybe that's kind of mixed things up a little bit, and you know, it's taken them a while to gel together. But at the moment, Raiders just don't look like the unit they have been.
Keister getting it inside. Lasker all over Baldarelli, enough to put him off, and he can't convert. Lasker pushing it in the corner. O'Reilly for three. Yes, string music from Colin O'Reilly.
Colin's had a quiet start to this game. Coach Lowe will be hoping he gets going. And he's another guy that can score in bunches from the outside if he gets looks.
Keister onto Baldarelli. Now the big fella has it down on the low block. He's not had too many opportunities to do that. When he has, he's been effective.
Again, lovely footwork. A couple of dribbles to the middle, drop step baseline. Nice finish by Drew Lasker.
Nice play by Lasker. Just a little explosion of pace. Flipped it up high. Bucci around the screen. Fired up, another three. Not this time. You're almost surprised when they don't go.
Another
Johnson keeps it alive. No, said the referee. Now the only thing I can think is referee judge. Yeah, that's exactly what the referee's just said. It's a tap, and a tap is not deemed a deliberate act, even if it is deliberate, and therefore you cannot get a backcourt violation on a tap back. If you pass it into the backcourt, it's a violation, but if you tap it into the backcourt, it's not. It's a weird rule because you see that. He's done that deliberately into the backcourt, gained an advantage. It feels like it ought to be a backcourt violation, but the referees have got that spot on.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Did not know that one.
I learned that one in the 2001 playoff final when I couldn't understand why a backcourt hadn't been called. And the head of referees came up to me the next day and explained the rule to me. It stuck with me ever since. Ojo. Lasker wants the screen from Barnett, gets the screen. O'Reilly penetrates, kicks out. Ojo in the corner where he likes that three. A little short. Johnson with the rebound. Stolen away by Ojo. Oh, he's missed it. Got his own rebound. He'll have another go. Goes up and he converts eventually.
Way to stay with it, Michael Ojo there. I was a little bit surprised he missed the three-point shot because he doesn't miss many. He's leading the league in three-point percentage.
I'd love to see somebody drop the stats of the corner three as well. I bet his percentage is even higher. Lasker harassing Bucci, dumps it off to Keister and he lays it in.
Again, Ralph Bucci without scoring massively, he's just absolutely running the show at the moment.
Assist number 7 for Bucci. Oh, it's through the hands of Barnett, thinking of the dunk before he'd made the catch, I think. Wide open. Now here's a guy who's already made 6 threes and you leave him that far open. Missed that one. Johnson can't put it back in. Ball is eventually pulled in by Lasker. Ojo out on the break. Ojo to the hole. He's fouled and it will go for Mike Ojo. He'll go to the line for a bonus free throw.
Again, strange decision by the Raiders to leave Gunani open. That time, unfortunately for him, he didn't knock it down, but Raiders able to rip and run, and Mike Ojo with a nice finish and one.
Ojo converts the three-point play, cuts the deficit back down to 7. But the Raiders haven't made a full charge yet here in the second half. There's a couple of times where they've got it to this sort of margin, but each time the Wildcats have responded. Keister was wide open for a second. By the time the pass came, it was picked off. Lasker running back is blocked. Great recovery from Johnson when it looked like an open layup for the Raiders. He said no.
That could be a big play for Durham. Could have taken it to a 5-point game.
Page is back into the game for Baldarelli as Lasker looks to inbound. Got to get it in, lobs it back, and O'Reilly catches it. Schneck spinning, trying to find some space, gets it out to O'Reilly from behind the arc. Another one from Colin O'Reilly, his second of this third period.
Be interesting to see if Coach Elder can kind of responds here with a timeout.
Gap down to 4. Johnson, a little head fake, drives in and passes it off. He's fouled by O'Reilly, but because he passed it, it'll be a sideline possession. In fact, it'll be from the end. You just get the sense Durham need a score here. Raiders have snatched the momentum with a couple of threes, cut it back down to 4. Bucci.
Good work by Matt Schneck there.
Bucci to the hole, will that count? Yes, it will, says the referee. Again, veteran play, felt the foul, heard the whistle, made sure the shot went up, and he got a nice roll on it.
With only 4 seconds left on the shot clock as well. It's a huge play from Ralph Bucci.
And again, we said they needed a score. Ralph Bucci delivers it, and a chance to make it a 3rd point from the line. And it's funny, but 7 seems a lot more comfortable than 4, and it's only 1 basket difference. Lasker around the screen. Gets it to Ojo. Ojo at the foul line, picked off by Page. He's off and running. 2 Raiders trying to close him down. He draws the foul. Oh, another and-one opportunity. Page had 2 Raiders converging on him. He drew the contact and finished it off.
What makes that really impressive is that the 2 guys chasing them back, Mike Ojo and Drew Lasker, are not slow. You know, they're 2 very, very quick guys. So for him to get out like with his dribble and able to finish when both of them are kind of nipping in his heels and hacking at the ball.
It almost looked like he took a little pace off it, and they kind of went past him, and actually that helped him out.
A little fly-by-play.
And having got it down to 4 a moment ago, 2 3-point plays from Bucci and Page, and the Wildcats lead is back to 10. Schneck gets it to Ojo. Barnett drives through. Barnett, tough play, doesn't go, didn't hit the ring. That'll be a shot clock violation.
Is that the second one that Wildcats have forced today? And again, against an offensive team like Plymouth, that's great defense.
Rod Brown back into the game for Drew Lasker. Minute to go and some change here in the 3rd period. Wildcats have led for most of it. They continue to do so. As Granani's shot doesn't go. Rod Brown out and pushing it. Brown, electric pace, but forced to pass it off. Ojo back to Brown, gets that quick floater off for 2.
That's a big play for Plymouth. I know Coach Love is not going to want to go into the 4th quarter being down by 10 or more. You know, mentally, if you're down single digits, then, you know, as a player, you always think you can come back. But
that'll be. Oh, I thought that was a goaltend. Like referee didn't say anything. Keister's going nuts. It looked like a goaltend first time out.
It looked like it hit glass first.
Last play here of the quarter as Raiders get to slow it down.
Even with green tinted spectacles, that definitely looked like it was glass first.
Brown down to 3, tosses it up, doesn't quite go, and maybe the ball didn't lie on that occasion and they didn't get a score. But another good quarter for the Durham Wildcats. They maintain their advantage. Kais is still arguing that last call. Referee says get on with it. But plenty of work for Gavin Love and the Raiders to do in the fourth.
Yeah, I think the worrying thing is when Plymouth made their inevitable run. The Wildcats, they didn't panic. They just weathered the storm and were able to take it back out to 10, which is all credit to them.
Game still very much in the balance here at the Pavilions. The Raiders trail Durham by 8. We'll be back with the fourth quarter just after this. Welcome back to the Pavilions, where the hometown Raiders have some work to do here in the fourth. They're trailing the Wildcats, who are eyeing a big win in their battle for playoff places over a Raiders team who were hoping to end this weekend's action in third place. Here's Bucci, who's played really well. Drives in. Nice pass. Another assist for Ralph Bucci. Make that assist number 8.
Just an unbelievable, unselfish play. Again, Raiders slow to relocate and to get off on the weak side.
Ojo can't convert. Here's Bucci, just bobbled it, kept it in bounds though. Bucci round the screen. Gets it to Page. Page from behind the arc, hit one from further back in the first half. Ooh, just thought for a second Schneck was going to lose that out of bounds, but he did hang on to it. Brown pushing hard, gets the bump and one for Rod Brown. Just got a little bump away from the basket from Ralph Bucci, but great body control, great savvy to fire that one up and knock it in for 2.
Rod Brown definitely looking more offensively minded maybe than he was last week, but he maybe as a veteran guy sensing that there's no better way to start up fourth quarter than a potential 3-point play.
Ooh, that one did well to draw eye, and that was a long way short. Bucci with the rebound. Bucci has a big lane to the basket, drives in, finds his teammate in the corner.
To leave open.
And how many times? I mean, fair enough, the first 2 or 3 you might give him, but that one was way open. That's his 7th three-pointer of the game.
And all credit to Ralph Bucci. I'll make that his 9th assist now as well.
Ojo attacks the basket and converts. Yeah, Bucci continuing his fine form. Be a candidate for Team of the Week, the way you get those lines across. Rebounds, assists, steals, few points in there as well. Get it onto Kaiser. There's an assist for Johnson. Again, good ball movement. And they seem still to be weathering this anything that Plymouth can throw at them.
And Plymouth look like they're putting a run together, and Durham put pay to it as soon as possible.
Ojo back out to Barnett. In the corner, O'Reilly drives in, shot clock getting low, and he tried to pass that off, didn't touch anybody.
Yeah, Plymouth looking really, really static on offense. Everyone watching to see what the ball handler's doing.
And we saw there on the pitch, the first thing Gavin Love did, turned to the table, said, "Can I have a timeout, please?" As his team turned the ball over with less than 8 minutes to play, they trail by 11 here to the Durham Wildcats.
I'm pretty sure that's what Coach Love's going to be saying, is that all we're doing is whoever's got the ball, we'll watch them, seeing what they're doing. There's no movement, there's no setting screens and no back picks. We're just looking at going one-on-one at the moment.
Well, Dave Elderkin will be very pleased with the way his team have played. When we get to the end of the game, doesn't matter what the final score is, I think Dave Elderkin will be delighted with the performance of his squad thus far. If they don't win the game from here, I think that would be tempered with disappointment, that they will feel they've bossed this game and they ought to go, and they're still winning by 11, they ought to go and win from here.
Yeah, I mean, Durham have been in control of this game probably since from the 2-minute mark in the first quarter onwards. They played great defense. I mean, one thing that stands out is obviously the offensive rebounds. I believe at the moment it's 10-2. It was definitely that after the end of the third quarter. But also the way that the Durham guards have kind of shut down and shut out the long-range shooters of the Raiders. They've done a great job in that respect.
Well, you think back to the early stages, what was it, 8-2 after 3 minutes, and the Wildcats looked in all sorts of trouble, and then suddenly this guy starts hitting threes, and they've been pretty dominant since then. Page, shot clock getting low, drives in, they've got to get it off. Granani in the corner fires up for three. Oh, again! He's done it again from behind the arc. His 8th in 12 attempts. Ojo trying to get an old-fashioned three. 8 of 12 from behind the arc.
And that was arguably the toughest one of the lot, you know, fading out of bounds from the very, very corner. You know, that one was either going to go straight down like it did or hit the side of the backboard. He was that far, kind of falling out of bounds.
An amazing three-point shot in the corner. He's up to 30 personal points now. And Mike Ojo at the free throw line, trying to keep Plymouth alive in this game. Trailing by 13 still. A lot of time left in the game, but they've got at some point to string some stops together. They can't go score for score.
Well, I mean, so Plymouth have gone to a zone now.
Well, make sure you know where the shooters are, and Page is one of them. He knocks down a three, and as a team, they're shooting above 50%. They are now 11 for 20 from the three-point line, 55%.
I mean, Durham have actually made more shots, three-point shots, than Plymouth have attempted.
Schneck with the offensive rebound, and he's fouled by Johnson. Schneck just has a quick word. I don't think there was anything much in it. He just wanted to make sure the guy didn't score.
I think it's a little bit of frustration from Matt.
Well, Baldarelli checks in. Page, who just hit that three-pointer, will sit down. He's got 15 now, a couple of threes, 6 assists as well. He's moved the ball. Good stats all over the board. No wonder they're ahead. I mean, the stats don't always tell the truth, but they certainly are today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, fantastic play. I mean, that's, you know, we're talking about obviously Ralph Bucci in a way he's, you know, been running the show. You know, the shooting display by Granani, but I mean, those Keith Page stats are pretty impressive. Quiet as well.
Well, the second one does roll in. Schneck plays a little pressure up court, but nothing they can't deal with. The thing Dave Eldcombe will love, 19 assists from his team, really feeding each other. Kaiser to Bucci. This might be assist number 20. No, because the shot is short. And here come the Raiders out on the break. Lasker, tough to stop. Oh, now Schneck tried to dunk that one in. If he'd left it, might just have bobbed. I don't think it would, but you always want to give the ball the chance.
Yeah, I think, not sure if Matt heard the whistle then or whether he's just playing on instinct, but just if the hoop's bobbling, or sorry, the basketball's bobbling around the hoop, you know, to try and put that back in. I mean, that's one way Plymouth are gonna hope to get it back in the game, is just by, you know, getting some quick baskets, only taking maybe 5 or 6 seconds off the shot clock, getting some cheap baskets, and then hoping to get stops at the other end.
The other thing we need to remember, with injury and illness, getting Durham down to a 7-man rotation is foul trouble. 3 guys on 3, 6 minutes to go. You think that's all right, but if the Raiders can continue to attack the basket like that, it's just something in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Baldarelli, oh, through the hands of Kaiser, and here come the Raiders again with numbers. Ojo breaks through, oh, stolen away by Baldarelli, stolen right back by Lasker. He thought he was fouled. Referee said no. O'Reilly from behind the arc, and Kaiser, it is, sorry, pulls in the rebound.
I mean, the fact that they do only have 7 guys makes the display so far that much more impressive.
Bucci gets it on. Kaiser at the free throw line. Battle it out. There's another rebound for Bucci. Dumps it off.
pass.
And one! And Ralph Bucci continues to do everything in this game. He grabs yet another rebound. Make that his 10th rebound of the game and his 10th assist of the game. No, sorry, 7th rebound, 10th assist. But just great play. Guy coming up with what his team needs. Saw the shot was short, wanted the rebound more than anybody else, got it, and then, as you say, dropped off a beautiful no-look pass.
I mean, the body language of the Wildcats right now, I mean, it's almost like a siege mentality. Everything's against them. They're bringing, 7 guys, hundreds of miles, down, across the country or down the country, and they're just going after everything. They're hustling, grabbing offensive rebounds. They're just playing for each other.
Well, they certainly are, and they've played really well, and Gavin Love and his team have plenty of work to do here with 5.5 minutes to go. They're trailing by 13 points. And I mean, you've talked about it a lot, Jamie. The averages of the Raiders, they lead the league in scoring, averaging nearly 95 points a game. At the other end of the floor, the Wildcats, second lowest scoring team in the league, averaging only 78 points a game. They're already a long way past that with 5.5 to play.
Yeah, I think any team that, at this point of the game is keeping Plymouth to 70 points is giving them, they're giving themselves a great chance to win the ball game.
Well, Johnson was fouled, so he will go to the line for a bonus free throw, trying to convert a three-point play. And as well as they've shot from the three-point line, we can't forget that's almost a turnover on the rebound by the Raiders. They've had quite a few three-point plays as well.
Yeah.
So they've got the extra points both from behind the arc and the old-fashioned way as well. Ojo, I think he was trying to throw it off the glass to himself, because he realized he couldn't get a shot off. Page fakes it the three, steps underneath, drives to the hole. Keith Page with the finger roll.
Again, turnovers leading to, certain turnovers, certain, poor shots are like turnovers themselves. I mean, that was definitely one that hurt Plymouth there.
Ojo under pressure gets his shot off, doesn't go. Another rebound from Keister, his 12th rebound of the game, double-double for him. Fired up by Boulder, really for three! And speaking of 12, that's the 12th three-pointer of the game for the Durham Wildcats, just heating it up from behind the arc. Made more three-pointers than they've missed. Made 12 of them. You don't lose too many games hitting 12 threes, that's for sure. Oh, great block from Keister. Page spins, loses it. Schneck comes down with it. 18 points the Wildcats lead by here. Ojo with the shot. They need points in a hurry, the Raiders. They need stops
they need
as
stops
well.
more than anything. Again, we mentioned it earlier, it always starts from defense.
Just got there. Keister to the lane, and again, good ball movement.
Good ball movement. Raiders not showing any kind of fight defensively there on that particular play.
Long two from Ojo, just towed the line as he jacked that one up. He was hoping it'd be worth three, but as he stepped forward, he just got his foot on the line. Once the players take a break, we will too. More action when we return. I mean, the thing is, we can talk about individual performances, and obviously Brad Granani with his 30 points off 8 three-pointers is the headline, but the supporting cast, 17 and 7 assists coming from Page, 17 and 12 rebounds coming from Keister, Bucci 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals and 7 points. I mean, it's come from all over the floor.
I mean, Page has been really impressive as a British point guard, putting up those kind of numbers against a potent team like
Doing
Raiders.
that as well. He's just taking it right down the defense.
Really, really impressive game by Keith Page.
He's hit a couple of threes, but it's all beautiful from Ojo to the hole. Didn't have enough on it. Schneck with the rebound, and Page nods his head to the referee and says, yeah, good call. Foul's on me.
I mean, there's one small thing in the Raiders' favour, and that's the foul count at the moment. You know, I think Coach Love's going to be, you know, telling everyone to be aggressive, get to the basket, because any fouls are going to be shooting fouls from here on.
Schneck. Oh, he bats the ball away in frustration as that free throw falls short. 18 points, 3 minutes 11 seconds to go.
This is not what this crowd has thought they were going to come and see, especially after the high-scoring game you know, against Manchester last year, or last week, I should say.
Yeah, double OT there before they eventually outlasted the Giants. But, well, what would they give for double OT tonight? It'll mean a great comeback, but wow, 32 points for Granani. Unbelievable shooting. Almost everything he's put up has gone in. Schreiber trying to fight for some room off the glass, and the foul is on Keister. It's almost like he had to be baited in there because Keister was dropping off him.
I mean, that's a shot that he can definitely make. You know, he showed in practice, you know, this week that he can kind of face up and knock down the mid-range jumper.
Short on the free throw, and another rebound pulled in by Ralph Bucci, who's closing in on a triple-double now. Hasn't quite got the points or the rebounds, but he's 7 points and 8 rebounds. He will go to, no, he won't go to the free throw line because they're not over the limit yet, Plymouth.
I mean, Keister's another guy who's, you know, quietly gone about his business and put together a really solid game. I mean, I know he's definitely got over 10 rebounds. I'm not sure.
13.
Exactly, 13. They've just got guys that are just doing what they need to, you know, to get out of here with a victory.
Baldarelli, great pass. Keister with the lay-in, and wow, they've really moved the ball well. 24 assists as a team. That's a lot.
Yeah.
O'Reilly from behind the arc for 3. Ojo trying to get for 2, and Page pulls in the rebound. If you look, Durham second in the league in assists, under 19 per game. 24 in this contest, still a couple minutes to go to add to that.
I think it's just one of those things that, you know, they know they've got no superstars on their team. They play for each other.
Page, brilliant. I mean, it's all, they've had such great performances from so many different guys. It's almost hard to single any of them out.
I mean, they're just, you know, that's the great thing about basketball. There's so many categories that, you know, that you can put good numbers on the board at: assists, rebounds. You know, you can score 0 points, but you might come up with 10 assists or 10 rebounds, and you've helped your team win. And I think Durham have, you know, have played a fantastic game in that respect.
Page round the screen, just lost the ball on the dribble for a second, and Schreiber, as he was going after it, sort of grabbed Page, and he's called for the foul. Still no free throws, though, not over the limit. And this just plays further into, well, to be honest with you, this game's pretty much done now. The last couple of minutes have flown by. There's only a minute 13 to go. Dave Elderkin, coach, is always more pessimistic than the rest of us, has called the timeout up to, I remember in our game last week, Jeff Jones did a similar thing. His team were up 16, I think it was, with 2 minutes to go. He could still see how the other team could come back. That's the nature of a coach. But there's no coming back from this for the Plymouth Raiders, down 20 with 1:13 to go. I think Gavin knows it. And this will be a blow for the Raiders, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, especially with obviously the new lineup that the Raiders have. You know, there are high hopes here to you know, to finish off the league campaign strongly, and then obviously take it into the postseason. But I mean, the great thing about the BBL is that you don't have to wait that long to have another kind of chance at, you know, winning a game, and Plymouth will be looking to do that up in Mersey on Sunday. But again, you know, a game that could be a potential banana skin, you know, especially after, you know, today's performance, which everybody on the team, you know, will agree has not been up to par.
Take nothing away from the Wildcats, so they've been sensational today.
Absolutely.
Baldarelli. There we go, good ball movement, and there's Bucci with another rebound, closing in. Still could get there with that triple-double. 9 rebounds, 10 assists, 7 points. He had a triple-double earlier this season. Running the clock down. If anything, he might not get there on points. Page, oh, what a pass! Not quite. Bucci almost in there for rebound number 10. Schnepp out to Ojo, fires up from behind the arc, hits for 3. Well, the fans enjoying it to some extent, but they know that this one has gone. They can't quite run it down, the Durham Wildcats, but they can get it the best way, best part to the final buzzer, and that's certainly all Page is looking to do as this one is played out. What a victory for Durham, who haven't won on the road since the opening day of the season. They are going to win on the road here, though, and they're going to win on the road in some impressive fashion, beating the Plymouth Raiders by 17 on their own court. And really, it was the three-point shooting of Guanani that got them off and running. The veteran skills across the board of Bucci. Page played well, Keister played well, they all played well. Great performance from the Wildcats.
I'm pretty sure, you know, Durham will probably think that that's, you know, one of their best performances in the BBL since they came into the league. Well, this obviously being their second year. They played a near perfect game, to be honest. You know, all of their guys came to play. All of their guys played their role, and you know, and some of them, you know, had career games.
Well, a phenomenal performance from the Durham Wildcats. They've beaten the Plymouth Raiders by 98 points to 81. Well, Dave, in terms of performances, where does that rank up in Durham Wildcats' brief time in the BBL?
Well, I think, you know, we had a really, really good spell against the Eagles when they beat us a few weeks ago, and a really good spell against some other teams, Worcester in particular, but we never did it for 40 minutes. You know, tonight, okay, we maybe had a little bit of a slippage in the third quarter, but I think overall we played well for 40 minutes.
I mean, it started out with all those three-point shots going in from Brad. He just had one of those amazing games where everything goes in.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of three-point weapons. You know, they don't necessarily connect all the time, but when they do, we're hard to guard because people have to come out, and that gives Keister a little bit of room inside. And, you know, and the guy nobody thinks about on our team is Sam Johnson. Nobody ever mentions him, but this kid has only been playing for 3 years. He's going to be a tremendous player in the longer term.
And it's one of those things, I named Brad there, I could have named a whole host of guys. Bucci was tremendous, Keister in on the rebounds, Page attacked the basket really well, and a huge number of assists for your guys. That must really please you.
That's what's really been pleasing me in the last few games. We've had 22, 25, 26. You know, and if you move the ball like we did tonight, sometimes we haven't always taken care of it as well as we could, but tonight we pretty much took care of it. But I'm just so proud of the guys.
And offensively, 98 points on the board, proving you can put big numbers up.
Yeah, that's our third or fourth 90 of the year. We've hit the ton once. I think that's something, you know, we have to do. Obviously, defense is always going to be important, but if we can become a scoring threat, that makes it difficult for the other team to do sort of the things they've been taking us out of our game with.
Well, Gavin, I know you'll be disappointed with that, but sometimes you run into a team that's just red hot.
Well, they were red hot, but at the same time, I don't think I've seen a Plymouth Raiders team play worse ever. You know, but the Durham Wildcats were fantastic. I mean, they were great. They were well prepared. They executed their game plan. They shot the absolute lights out. My goodness, they did a fantastic job. But I'm very disappointed with my players tonight. I mean, it's the first time I'll ever say that my players just didn't bring it. They weren't ready, mentally focused to go. You can see that from the tip-off, to be completely honest with you. We didn't execute at all. Our defense was just horrible. But give all credit to the Durham Wildcats. Wow, they were hot as a pistol, yeah.
Yeah, where did you think it went wrong? You guys, first couple of minutes started out really hot, started well, and then they just came back in.
We just got guys that relaxed. It took you know, we started really well, and then guys started doing uncatcherous thing, dribbling the ball too much. I mean, our hard heads, defending the pick and roll was a joke. We've been great at that all season. A lack of energy, a lack of enthusiasm, and it's a complete turnaround from last week. I was exceptionally happy with our performance last week, and to come here and play like that in front of the crowd, in front of the cameras, was quite frankly well, annoying to say the least. I'm very disappointed in my players' attitudes this evening, and it's been fantastic for the last month or so. Yeah, we had a few new guys back. Did that hurt us? Maybe upset the chemistry a little bit, and you know, it's one of those things, unfortunately, very disappointing, but congratulations to Wildcats, did a great job.
Well, Jamie, if we look back over this game, really an excellent display from the Wildcats. Started in that first quarter with all those 3-pointers.
Yeah, it was an excellent shooting display from the Wildcats. You know, especially Raguanani, who's you know, he shot the ball, you know, as well as I've seen an individual shoot the ball here in the last couple of seasons for sure.
And sometimes you get a performance like that, a standout performance, but actually it was only just a little bit better than the rest of his team, because we saw the likes of Page attacking the basket really well, Bucci, smart, veteran savvy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as we mentioned, you know, during the game, that they had guys that play to their strengths. They did what they do well. Keister rebounding the ball, you know, was exceptional under the basket, caused Raiders a lot of problems defensively. Keith Page, really impressive display from a young British point guard, getting to the basket at will, and obviously the veteran savvy of Ralph Bucci, who just ran the show basically.
Yeah, and Gavin very unhappy with his team at the end. Were there any positives you could see for the Raiders?
Not too many, if I'm honest. I think that was, I mean, you know, Gavin mentioned about, you know, it was one of the worst displays that he's seen from a Plymouth Raiders team, you know, especially during his coaching tenure. I mean, I think that, you know, the fact that, you know, the Raiders have now got guys back. It was great seeing Mike Ojo being out there after, you know, what was a pretty serious injury. So that's obviously a positive you can take. But like I said, you know, it's back to the drawing board, and only a couple of 48 hours to wait until they get a chance to redeem themselves.
Yeah, they'll definitely want to get back out on the court and get this one out of the way. But tonight has been all about the Durham Wildcats. Well, we've seen the action here in Plymouth. Let's take a look at what happened when the Worcester Wolves hosted the Surrey Heat on Friday night.
Worcester Wolves looking to keep the pressure on the top four against the Heat side, hoping to bounce back from double disappointment last weekend. Home side off to a great start with Carlos Fernandez and Stana City helping them into a 15-4 lead. Sam Cricelli kept the Heat in touch with 9 first quarter points, and it was a 6-point game going into the second. Heat netted 8 straight to tie the game at 21-21 and bagged the last 7 points of the half to lead 45-38 at the interval. Chavez Holmes stretched the Surrey lead to 10 early in the third, but a run of 14 points to 3 by the Wolves had them back ahead with 6 minutes to play. The visitors were back in front with less than 2 minutes to play before 4 foul shots from Worcester had them 83-80 ahead, but Sam Cricelli hit an overtime-forcing 3-pointer on the buzzer against his old team. Having got themselves into the extra period, the Heat took full advantage, scoring 8 of the first 9 points to lead 91-84. Kai Williams cut the gap back to a couple of points, but the Heat made sure from the free throw line down the stretch. Final score, Worcester Wolves 91, Surrey Heat 97 after overtime. Roundup of all the action this weekend then. Whilst we were watching Durham win, Newcastle crushed the Tigers, Surrey enjoyed an impressive comeback to win by 6 in overtime at Worcester. More overtime excitement in Sheffield, this time in the BBL Trophy, as the Sharks hit the last 6 points of regulation to force the extra period and claimed another semi-final berth with an 84-81 success. More misery for Mersey on Sunday, beaten by the Raiders, whilst Durham capped a great weekend with victory in Cheshire. Mike Baldarelli with 6 3-pointers this time around in their 94-82 success. Here's the league table then. Newcastle moved clear of Leicester, who had the weekend off. Surrey closed the gap and they're 2 points ahead of Plymouth. Glasgow stay in 5th thanks to Worcester's loss, whilst it's really bunched up behind them in that race for the last 2 playoff berths. Durham, the big movers, 2 wins takes them up to joint 9th, but only 2 points and 2 defeats separate 5 teams down there. It's going to be some race for those playoff places.
Great victory for Durham down here in Plymouth, and next week we're at the other end of the country. We're in Glasgow, where Sterling Davis's Rocks will play host to the Cheshire Phoenix. That's Glasgow Rocks versus Cheshire Phoenix, Tuesday 5th of February, Sky Sports 3 at 8 p.m. Hope you enjoyed tonight's action. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.